The summer sun scorched the Oakwood community pool, turning the water into a dazzling sheet of light. Maya Reed sat alone on a faded plastic chair, her navy swimsuit dry despite the oppressive heat. Her dark eyes scanned the scene, splashing kids gossiping, parents, teens perfecting their cannonballs. She adjusted her oversized t-shirt fingers, grazing the lean muscle beneath honed by years of training with her grandfather. 3 months in Oakwood, and she still felt like an outsider, the only black face in a sea of pale skin. A family passed by the mother, yanking her daughter closer, clutching her tote bag. Maya looked away, pretending not to notice. She'd seen that reaction too often since moving here. The air smelled of chlorine and coconut sunscreen, mingling with the laughter of kids playing Marco Polo. It reminded her of her old neighborhood pool, where she'd blended in, where eyes didn't follow her every move. Her grandfather's voice echoed in her mind. Stay sharp, but never show fear. Mr. Walter Hayes, an elderly black lifeguard, caught her eye from his high chair and offered a small nod. Maya returned it, grateful for the fleeting kindness, the first since she'd arrived 30 minutes ago. The crowd was thinning as the afternoon waned, families packing up their coolers. She checked her phone, no texts from her mom. Angela likely still at her second job. Maya had told her she was here to cool off, but really, she needed escape from their cramped apartment still marked by the hateful graffiti sprayed on their door last week. A splash hit her feet. A young boy chased his beach ball, then froze when he saw her, his smile fading. "Tommy, get over here," his mother snapped, hurrying him away without a glance at the forgotten ball. Maya picked it up, but they were already gone. She set it aside, sighing. The crowd had subtly shifted, leaving an empty space around her chair. She'd learned to spot these patterns, the averted eyes, the careful distance. Her grandfather had warned her about this. Dignity is your armor when they try to strip it away. Standing, she stretched her tall frame and approached the pool's edge. The water shimmered, promising relief from the heat and the weight of those stairs. Maybe a swim would show them she was just here to enjoy the day like anyone else. Then she heard it, loud mocking laughter laced with menace. She didn't need to turn to know who it was. Jake Sullivan and his crew were infamous, their names whispered in school hallways even before summer break. "Well, look who's slumming it at our pool." Jake's voice rang out, dripping with fake surprise. Maya kept her breathing steady, turning slowly. Jake stood flanked by 2 friends, all white, all smirking. To his left, Ethan Carter, lanky and sneering. To his right, Logan Hayes, broad and itching for a fight. "You lost, girl." Jake stepped closer, his tone mocking. "Public pools across town. This is members only." "I have a membership," Maya said calmly, her grandfather's words in her head. "Control your emotions, or they'll control you." Ethan snorted. "Membership bet. She stole it with her welfare check." Logan cracked his knuckles, blocking her path back to her chair. "Maybe we should check her ID, make sure she's legit." Maya's muscles tensed, but her posture stayed relaxed. She knew bullies they hunted, weakness fed on fear. Jake circled closer, his designer swim trunks dripping onto the concrete. Some moms complained earlier. Said they don't like certain types watching their kids swim. His smirk made the racism clear. The few remaining pool-goers looked away, suddenly engrossed in their phones. Even the younger lifeguard avoided her gaze, but Mr. Hayes watched intently, hand near his whistle. "I'm just here to swim," Maya said, stepping back from the pool's edge. She wouldn't let them trap her against the water. "Swim?" Jake's voice rose, drawing attention. "We're just being friendly, showing you around our pool right." Boys Ethan and Logan closed in their feet, shuffling on the wet concrete, forming a tight semicircle. Then it happened. Jake's hands slammed into her chest, shoving her backward. Maya's feet left the ground, and she plunged into the deep end. Cold water shocked her system, Jake's laughter echoing above. She kicked toward the surface, but a heavy hand Logan's pushed her down. Water flooded her nose, burning her throat. More hands grabbed her, holding her under. Through the churning water, she saw their distorted faces jeering. Ethan's kicks stirred the water, disorienting her. Her lungs screamed. "Stay calm," her grandfather's voice cut through. "Water's just another battlefield." The hands yanked her up briefly. She gasped air, then Jake shoved her under again. Her eyes stung, but she kept them open, tracking their movements. They thought she was helpless. They were wrong. Maya went limp, feigning weakness. Logan's grip slackened. In one fluid motion, she planted her feet against the pool wall and pushed off, surging upward. Her legs snapped out, catching Ethan in the chest with a controlled front kick. He stumbled back, gasping. Twisting underwater, she grabbed Logan's ankle and pulled using the water's resistance. He flailed, submerging with a splash. Jake tried to retreat, but Maya swept his legs in a precise underwater move. He crashed into the pool, sputtering. Bursting to the surface, Maya took a deep breath, water streaming off her. The bullies were scattered. Ethan doubled over Logan, thrashing Jake, coughing. She swam to the ladder, her movements calm but ready. Mr. Hayes's whistle shrieked across the deck. Jake glared, fear mixing with rage. What the hell, he spluttered. How Maya didn't answer. Her grandfather taught her strength didn't need words. She'd shown them she wasn't prey, but the real fight was just beginning. The Oakwood community pool was quiet now, the water still rippling from the chaos. Maya Reed stood dripping on the concrete, her heart pounding, but her stance steady. Around her, the remaining crowd whispered, their eyes darting between her and the three bullies, Jake Sullivan, Ethan Carter, and Logan Hayes, who were pulling themselves out of the pool, coughing and humiliated. Jake's slicked-back hair clung to his face, his confident smirk replaced by a mix of shock and fury. "You're gonna regret this," he spat, voice trembling. Maya stayed silent, her grandfather's teachings anchoring her. Let your actions speak. Mr. Walter Hayes, the elderly lifeguard, strode toward them, his whistle still in hand. "Clear the area," he barked, his deep voice cutting through the murmurs. "If you're not involved, move along now." The junior lifeguards hesitated, then stepped back, deferring to his authority. Most onlookers shuffled away, though some lingered, phones discreetly raised. Mr. Hayes's sharp eyes took in the scene, Maya's controlled posture, the bully's disarray, the faint red mark on Ethan's chest from her kick. "Young lady," he called to Maya. His tone calm but piercing come out of the pool area. Maya swam to the farthest ladder, pulling herself up smoothly. She stood tall, refusing to look guilty, though her wet swimsuit sent shivers down her spine. Jake, recovering his bravado, pointed at her. "She attacked us," he shouted. "Went crazy for no reason." Ethan nodded, rubbing his chest. "She's dangerous. Everyone saw it." Logan, still coughing, chimed in. "She tried to drown us." Mr. Hayes raised a hand, silencing them. "I saw enough," he said quietly, his gaze making the bullies squirm. To Maya, he murmured, "Stay calm, girl. I know what went down." His eyes held a flicker of recognition, as if he saw her grandfather in her. To the group, he announced, "This is being reported. Everyone out of the pool area now." Jake and his friends hesitated, shooting Maya venomous looks, but Mr. Hayes's presence forced them to grab their towels and slink toward the exit. He guided Maya to a shaded bench behind the maintenance shed, away from prying eyes. The air smelled of grass and oak, a relief from the chlorine. "Sit," he said, easing onto the bench with deliberate movements. Maya sat, her swim trunks dripping onto the rough wood. "How'd you know I wasn't the one starting trouble?" she asked, voice low. Mr. Hayes smiled faintly. "Those moves you pulled, clean controlled. That's your grandfather's style. Samuel Reed and I trained together in '75 before he moved north. Best martial artist I knew, and a man of honor." Maya's eyes widened. "You knew him." "Sure did," he said, his tone heavy with memory. "But that's not what we're talking about now. Those boys, Jake Sullivan, Ethan Carter, Logan Hayes, their families run this town. Jake's dad is the police chief. Ethan's mom's on the city council. Logan's parents are big-shot lawyers. They're gonna twist this, paint you as the problem." Maya's stomach knotted. She'd sensed the town's undercurrents, but this was worse than she'd feared. "I was defending myself," she protested. "They tried to drown me." "I know," Mr. Hayes said, leaning forward. "But Oakwood has a history of burying truth, especially when race is involved. 20 years ago, a black family's car was torched, called it a prank. 10 years back, a black kid got jumped at school, just a fight. Truth doesn't always win here." Her phone buzzed in her backpack, then again relentlessly. Maya pulled it out, hands trembling. Notifications flooded the screen, texts, Instagram tags, Snapchat alerts. "Psycho girl attacked Jake at the pool. She's violent. Stay away from her." Someone had posted a video edited to start after the Bullies' attack, showing only Maya's defensive kicks. Comments piled up knew she was trouble. "Shouldn't let her kind in our pool." Photos of Jake and his friends looking shaken but barely hurt spread with fake witness accounts. She just snapped. "They were being nice. They're framing me." Maya whispered, her voice tight with dread. Mr. Hayes put a steady hand on her shoulder. "They've played this game before. But you're not alone." Her phone buzzed again, a text from an unknown number. "You're done, girl. Nobody believes you." That evening, Maya sat at the kitchen table, her shoulders shaking as she fought tears. Her mother, Angela, held her close, still in her diner uniform. "I didn't start it," Mom, Maya choked out. "They held me underwater. I just fought back like Grandpa taught me." Angela stroked her back, her own eyes glistening. "I believe you, baby. You're your grandfather's girl, strong, honorable." The cramped kitchen smelled of leftover coffee, the old fridge humming loudly. Outside, the graffiti on their garage, "Get Out," loomed in the dusk. Red and blue lights suddenly flashed through the window, a siren's wail cutting the quiet before falling silent. Heavy footsteps approached. "Police, open up." Angela squeezed Maya's shoulder, then opened the door. 3 officers stood on the porch, hands on their holsters. Mrs. Reed, the lead officer, said coldly, "I'm Officer Bennett. We're here about an assault complaint against your daughter." "Assault?" Angela's voice rose. "My daughter was the victim. Those boys tried to drown." Her Officer Bennett's eyes flicked to Maya. "We have witness statements and video showing her attacking 3 minors unprovoked." "That video's edited," Maya burst out. "They pushed me in first. Watch your tone," another officer snapped. Bennett thrust a paper at Angela. "Court summons. Juvenile court, Tuesday 9 a.m. Be there, or we'll return with a warrant." Angela's hands shook as she took the paper, but her voice held firm. "We'll be there, and we're filing a complaint about those boys." Bennett's laugh was sharp. "Good luck. Chief Sullivan will love to hear your story." The officers left, their lights fading into the night. Angela closed the door, leaning against it, tears spilling down her cheeks. Maya hugged her tightly, the summons falling to the floor. The system had already judged her guilty, and the real fight was just beginning. The morning sun barely pierced the cardboard covering the Reeds' broken front window, casting jagged shadows across the living room. Maya Reed stood in the driveway, staring at the garage door, where red paint screamed, "Go back where you came from." The letters glistened still wet, surrounded by scattered rocks from last night's attack. Her mother, Angela, stood beside her, arms wrapped tightly around herself. I called the police. Angela said, her voice strained but steady. Not that they'll do anything. Maya touched the paint, her fingers coming away red. This is because I fought back at the pool. Angela's eyes flashed. This is because they're cowards who hide in the dark. A neighbor's car slowed the driver, gawking at the graffiti before speeding off. By noon, the whole town would know. We should clean it up, Maya said, her voice hollow. Before more people see. No, Angela replied firmly. Let them see what Oakwood really is. She pulled out her phone, snapping photos. We're documenting everything. Maya nodded, her grandfather's teachings echoing, analyze the threat. Stay calm. These weren't pranks, they were warnings. Jake Sullivan and his crew, backed by their powerful families, wanted her to break or leave. A familiar car pulled into the driveway. Mr. Walter Hayes stepped out, his weathered face grim as he surveyed the damage. Heard through the grapevine, he said. Some folks saw cars here last night, but no one got a clear look. His voice carried the weight of experience. Angela's shoulders sagged with relief at seeing him. You didn't have to come, Walter. Yes, I did, he said, eyeing the broken window. This is how they operate. First, they try to drown a girl. Then, they drown the truth. He turned to Maya. How you holding up? She started to say fine, but stopped, remembering her grandfather's call for honesty. I'm scared, angry. I don't know what to do with it. Mr. Hayes nodded. Fear and anger are like fire, burn you up or forge you stronger. Depends on how you channel them. He pulled a key ring from his pocket. Got a private gym behind my house. Your grandfather Samuel trained there with me back in the day. It's yours to use day or night. Better than waiting for the next rock. Maya took the keys, their weight grounding her. Thank you, she said softly. Don't thank me yet, Mr. Hayes replied with a faint smile. Wait till you see the training I've got planned. A police car rolled up, moving slowly. Officer Bennett from last night stepped out, his face blank. Vandalism report, he asked, barely glancing at the graffiti. Angela's jaw tightened. This is a hate crime, not vandalism. Bennett scribbled in his notepad. We'll look into it. Probably just kids. He left without another word, his dismissal a slap. That afternoon, Maya biked to Mr. Hayes's Victorian house tucked behind ancient oaks. A weathered shed stood in the backyard, its heavy door creaking as Mr. Hayes unlocked it. Your grandfather helped build this dojo in '75, he said. Every warrior needs a sanctuary. Inside, sunlight filtered through high windows, illuminating heavy bags, wooden dummies, and a polished wood floor worn by decades of footsteps. The air smelled of leather and incense. A faded photo hung near a small shrine. Two young men in army fatigues, Mr. Hayes and Samuel Reed, grinning in '69. They started with basic drills, blocks, strikes, stances. Mr. Hayes watched closely, correcting Maya's form. Good power, he noted, as she hit a heavy bag. But you're tensing up. Anger makes you sloppy. Maya threw another punch, this time smoother. How did Grandpa handle it? People trying to break him. With discipline, Mr. Hayes said, demonstrating a flowing block. He knew anger blinds you. Channel it into focus. They worked through complex techniques, each move requiring precision. Sweat soaked Maya's shirt, but her mind cleared the day's weightlifting. Those boys at the pool, Mr. Hayes said, during a break, they attacked you because they thought you were weak. Real strength is control, like your grandfather had. They trained until dusk, Mr. Hayes, sharing stories of Samuel's calm under fire in Vietnam and his quiet defiance during the civil rights era. He never started fights, he said, but he never backed down either. Maya felt her grandfather's presence in the dojo, steadying her. That night, alone in her room, Maya's phone buzzed. A text from an unknown number: meet at the pool, 9 p.m. Let's talk, no fighting. Another followed. Just talking. End this before it gets worse. Her jaw clenched. Mr. Hayes's warning rang in her head. They'll try to get you alone. Ignoring it felt like running, but going felt like walking into a trap. Her grandfather's voice cut through. Sometimes you face trouble head-on. She couldn't keep dodging Jake's threats. They'd only get bolder. If she could confront them, maybe she'd force them to back off. Maya changed into black jeans and a dark hoodie, her running shoes silent on the floor. In the mirror, her eyes looked harder older. The walk to the pool took 15 minutes, the streets eerily quiet. Her phone buzzed again. You coming? We're waiting. She didn't reply, her senses sharp, catching every rustle of leaves. The pool's gates were locked, the water black under a sliver of moon. A metallic clang came from the equipment shed, then hushed whispers. Jake's voice called out, Hey, over here. Just want to talk. Maya stayed in the shadows, her grandfather's training guiding her steps. She wasn't here to hide, she was here to end this. The Oakwood community pool lay silent under a sliver of moon, its locked gates casting long shadows. Maya Reed crouched in the darkness, her heart steady, despite the metallic clang she'd heard from the equipment shed. Jake Sullivan's voice cut through the night, falsely casual. Come on, girl. We're here to talk. She didn't respond, circling silently along the fence, her grandfather's training sharpening her senses. Every rustle of leaves, every shift in the air, she noticed it all. This was a trap, but she'd come to face it, to end the harassment, once and for all. Jake stepped into the moonlight, hands raised as if harmless. Neutral ground, no adults, just us sorting this out. His eyes betrayed him, a predatory glint, a twitch of his lip. Maya spotted movement near the shed, Ethan Carter's lanky frame, then Logan Hayes's broader silhouette. They fanned out, trying to block her escape. Why the dark? Why here? Maya asked, her voice, calm, staying well back. Like I said, neutral. Jake shrugged, but his tone was too slick. Maya's muscles tensed, ready. You're lying, she said flatly. Jake's fake smile vanished. Maybe. But you still showed up, didn't you? He reached behind the shed, pulling out a metal pipe. Ethan dangled a length of chain, its links glinting. Logan gripped a crowbar, his knuckles white. You humiliated us at the pool, Jake snarled. Made us look weak. Time to learn your place, girl. The racial venom in his words hit like a slap, but Maya kept her grandfather's voice in her head. Let their anger make them sloppy. You did that yourselves, she said, shifting her stance. Cowards who need 3 to 1. Jake's face twisted. Get her. They charged weapons, raised footsteps echoing off the fence. Maya moved like water, dodging Jake's wild pipe swing, staying just out of Ethan's chain reach. Logan lunged with his crowbar, but she sidestepped, circling to keep them off balance. Stand still, Jake shouted, his swings growing frantic. Her grandfather's lessons clicked. Use their momentum against them. Ethan's chain arced toward her. Maya stepped inside, grabbing it mid-swing and yanking. Ethan stumbled forward off balance. She twisted the chain around his wrist and pulled, sending him crashing face first onto the concrete with a yelp. Logan roared, swinging his crowbar from behind. Maya dropped low, her legs sweeping out in a precise arc, catching his ankles. He went airborne, the crowbar clattering away as he landed hard, gasping for air. Jake swung his pipe like a bat, aiming for her head. Maya caught it with both hands, the impact jarring her palms, but stopping him cold. No, she said, voice steady. I'm trained. She wrenched the pipe free, then snapped a sidekick into Jake's knee. He howled, staggering back. Ethan was up, nose bleeding, throwing wild punches. Maya blocked methodically, letting him tire. When he overextended, she grabbed his arm and flipped him over her hip, sending him sprawling beside Logan. Jake charged again, hatred contorting his face. Maya sidestepped, redirecting his rush toward the pool. A quick push sent him splashing into the deep end. Ethan and Logan scrambled to flee, but Maya was faster. She grabbed their collars, her strength honed by years of training, and dragged them to the pool's edge. "Remember trying to drown me?" she asked, voice low. Laughing while I fought for air. "Please," Logan whimpered. "Don't." Maya launched them into the water. They surfaced, spluttering, clinging to the edge. Jake coughed, shivering. In the moonlight they looked pathetic, their weapons scattered, their bravado gone. "How's it feel?" Maya called. Helpless, afraid. She picked up their pipe and chain, tossing them into the bushes. "I could hold you under like you did me. But I'm not you. Get out. Go home. Come near me again, and you'll regret it." "We won't," Jake sputtered. "We swear." They climbed out, drenched and limping, supporting each other as they fled into the night. A soft rustle came from behind the fence. Maya spun ready, but caught glimpses of phones being lowered. Whispers drifted. "Got it all, every second. They're done." She peered into the shadows, but couldn't see faces. Earlier that day, a girl at school had overheard Jake bragging about teaching her a lesson and tipped off a few classmates who'd snuck here to record, expecting a fight. Their videos were already uploading. Maya stood by the pool, breathing deeply, letting the adrenaline fade. The water lapped quietly, peaceful now. She'd faced their worst, and won not with cruelty, but with control. Her grandfather would have been proud. As she walked home, her phone buzzed, notifications pouring in. The videos were spreading, tagged with hashtags, Oakwood Truth. "Justice for Maya." Comments flooded. They tried to kill her. Look at their weapons. By midnight, the clips had hit TikTok, then X with thousands of views. Back home, Maya sat in the dark, watching the numbers climb. One video caught Jake's voice clearly. "Should have stayed out of our town, girl. Nobody's gonna believe you." Another showed the pool attack from weeks ago, a bystander's footage revealing the truth of her drowning. Someone had spliced them together, exposing the pattern of hate. Maya's hands trembled, not with fear, but with hope. The lies were unraveling, and Oakwood couldn't ignore the truth anymore. Morning light filtered through the cardboard covering the Reed's broken window, illuminating a kitchen cluttered with packing boxes. Maya Reed taped shut a box of clothes, her muscles sore from last night's fight at the pool. Across the table, her mother Angela sipped coffee, her eyes heavy with exhaustion, but bright with cautious hope. The garage's hateful graffiti still loomed outside, a reminder of Oakwood's cruelty. A sharp knock startled them. "It's Walter," Mr. Walter Hayes called. Maya opened the door, and the old lifeguard burst in, tablet in hand. "Turn on the news," he urged. "It's everywhere," Angela flipped on their small TV, as Mr. Hayes set his tablet down, a video already playing. Grainy but unmistakable, it showed last night's ambush, Jake Sullivan, Ethan Carter, and Logan Hayes wielding weapons against Maya. "Multiple angles," Mr. Hayes said, grinning. Kids posted it on TikTok, then X, went viral overnight. The view count stunned Maya, 3 million and climbing. Comments poured in. "They tried to kill her. This town's corrupt." Another video played the original pool attack, showing Jake's gang drowning her. Someone had spliced them together, exposing the racist pattern. The TV blared breaking news. A reporter stood outside Oakwood's police station. Viral videos reveal a black teenager, Maya Reed, was the victim of repeated attacks, not the aggressor as local authorities claimed. Allegations of corruption and racial bias are mounting. Mr. Hayes switched tabs. Chief Sullivan's in damage control. The boys' parents are lawyering up, but the evidence is ironclad. Maya's phone buzzed non-stop support messages, journalist requests posts condemning her attackers. A comment thread caught her eye. This happened to my cousin here years ago. Nobody listened. Now they have to. A news van parked across the street, reporters approaching. This story's got it all, racism cover-ups, a martial arts hero, Mr. Hayes said. Maya's phone rang their lawyer, Ms. Clara Evans. DA's dropping all charges, she announced on speaker. The videos forced their hand. They're investigating the police instead. Angela pulled Maya into a tearful hug, her body shaking. "It's over," baby Maya whispered. Mr. Hayes's eyes glistened. "Your grandfather Samuel would be so proud. You fought with honor." The juvenile courthouse was a media circus, cameras flashing as Maya climbed the steps with Angela and Mr. Hayes. Inside, Jake, Ethan, and Logan sat with their parents, feigning innocence despite bruises and Ethan's sling. Chief Sullivan whispered to the prosecutor, his badge gleaming. The boys' parents, Mr. Daniel Sullivan, a real estate tycoon, Mrs. Laura Carter, a councilwoman, and the Hayes lawyers glared at Maya. Judge Elena Torres entered, her face stern. "Case JV 2025-714. Maya Reed," she began. The prosecutor, Mr. Grant, stood. "The state alleges a pattern of violent behavior by the defendant, Your Honor." Mr. Hayes interrupted, standing with a USB drive. "I'm Walter Hayes, former Marine witness to Maya's harassment. This evidence proves those boys tried to drown her, then attacked her with weapons." Murmurs rippled. The prosecutor sputtered. "This is improper." Judge Torres studied Mr. Hayes. "Approach." He handed over the drive, and the judge plugged it in. A screen descended, projecting the videos. Gasps filled the room as Jake's gang forced Maya underwater, their laughter chilling. Then last night's ambush played, Jake's voice clear. "Should have stayed out of our town, girl." The boys' parents shifted uncomfortably. Chief Sullivan stared at his shoes. A final clip showed Jake at the pool. "My dad says her kind needs to know their place." Silence fell. Judge Torres removed her glasses. "Mr. Grant, proceed with this case." Grant tugged his collar. "A recess to review, Your Honor." An FBI agent stood. "The Bureau requests all evidence for our investigation into civil rights violations and obstruction." Chief Sullivan paled. Judge Torres's gavel cracked. "Charges against Maya Reed are dismissed with prejudice. I'm ordering an investigation into this attempted frame-up. Criminal charges are referred against Jake Sullivan, Ethan Carter, Logan Hayes, and their parents for conspiracy and child endangerment." The courtroom erupted. Daniel Sullivan shouted, "You can't, do you know who I am?" "Bailiff, remove him," Torres ordered. FBI agents blocked the exits, detaining the families. Chief Sullivan slumped as agents approached. Voices rose from the gallery. "Maya's a good kid, helped my mom with groceries," a neighbor said. "She tutors my son," another added. Townsfolk who'd stayed silent now spoke, the tide turning. Students who'd recorded the videos stood, phones in hand. "We were scared before, but we couldn't let them hurt her again," one said. Judge Torres addressed Maya. "I apologize for what you've endured. No child should face this." Angela wiped tears. Her grandfather taught her strength with control. Outside, FBI agent Lisa Monroe faced the press. "We're investigating conspiracy, obstruction, and hate crimes. Arrests are pending." Reporters swarmed as Chief Sullivan and the parents were led out in cuffs. Maya paused on the steps facing the microphones. "My grandfather said martial arts is about protecting with honor. I hope this teaches everyone to stand for what's right." She left the frenzy behind her, words echoing. Weeks later, boxes lined the Reeds' new Riverside Heights apartment, funded by advocacy groups. At Oakwood's pool, a crowd gathered for a ceremony, candles flickering. Mayor Anna Brooks unveiled a plaque in honor of Maya Reed for courage against injustice. She announced anti-racism training, a police oversight board, and a scholarship in Samuel Reed's name. Maya showed us the way, Brooks said, handing Maya a medal of courage. Maya took the podium. Courage isn't just fighting back, it's fighting for change. Everyone who shared those videos who spoke up, you're courageous too. She glanced at Mr. Hayes, smiling. I'll become an instructor, so no kid feels helpless against hate. Applause roared. Some faces showed shame, others' resolve. Oakwood's change was uneven, but real. As the sun set, Maya stood by the pool, the water golden. Grandpa would be proud, Mr. Hayes said. You woke this town. Maya touched the plaque, feeling her grandfather's spirit. Tomorrow, a new home awaited, but tonight, surrounded by a community learning to heal, she knew she'd already won.